Hi. So I'm making this video for one of my college classes and I have to be family friendly. But instead of me torturing myself by not swearing, I'm gonna torture my editor. And I'm gonna make him bleep every one of my swear words. So before I begin, there's gonna be spoilers for some shows, especially these ones. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you go watch them first. Which I recommend you do. Without further ado, let's begin. I know I'm supposed to talk about movies, but this show and also movies changed my perspective on everything, and that's why I want to talk about it first. This is an anime, you can make fun of me for liking it, but this is a truly life-changing show, and I can't recommend you enough to watch it. It's a really hit or miss show though. For some people like me, it's the greatest fiction ever written, but for some people it might be boring or satire or nothing interesting happens in it. But for me, Evangelion is the reason why I can understand myself more, understand life more, and understand people more, and how to deal with my desire not to exist. Shinji is the main character in the show, and he's a okay, I don't mean that in a bad way, but if you understand Shinji, he's a scared little boy, and I can understand and resonate with him. Not to say I'm a scared little boy, but I do understand him. Shinji's desire not to exist is something everyone feels and deals with at least once in their life. But Shinji's life and his daddy issues and fear of abandonment makes it 10 times worse. Shinji's fear of abandonment is solved by the end of the show, but that's dependent on the ending you watch. Evangelion has 3 endings. 4 if you count the manga. So let's begin with the first 26 episode anime and work our way up to the ending. The show begins with a very calm and normal nature ambient sounds, but as we are shown more, we see a city underwater and destroyed. We also see a monster under this water. The city could be a remains of war or anything else, but as we continue, we see tanks all aiming exactly at one place. And then we see an explosion in the distance. We hear a voice stating that it's in a state of emergency and that people should seek shelter. And then we get to see Shinji for the first time. He's trying to use the telephone booth to call someone. We can see he's also waiting for someone. The streets are empty and we can see no one other than Shinji. The telephone booth lines are out and it's unusable. Shinji says maybe it's better for him to go to a shelter, but then us and Shinji see her grow in the streets with blue hair. We see her for a second and then she disappears. We'll get back to her later. As soon as the girl disappears, the fighting between the monster and the military begins, with Shinji being caught in the crossfire. As he is watching the carnage unfold, the person Shinji was waiting for comes, and oh my god! This is Misato, and we'll talk about her more later, but for now, we should see what happens with the monster and the military. We see as the generals throw everything they have at the monster. They even throw in an atomic bomb, but nothing seems to stop the beast. We see as Shinji and Misato drive into the underground city of sorts, and we understand that the monster that the military was fighting are called angels. Misato tells Shinji about NERV, the organization built by the UN, and its sole purpose to find ways to fight against the angels. And here is where we understand that Shinji is here to meet his father, who is the head of NERV. But Shinji doesn't know this, and this shows the distance between him and his father. Shinji is excited to see the city underground, which is called Tokyo 3. Shinji and Misato then meet Ritsuko Hagaki, and they go to a place where for the first time we see EVA Unit 1. Shinji is shocked and so is Misato. Ritsuko explains that EVAs are mechs, built to fight angels, and this one here is EVA Unit 1, and it's for Shinji. After that, for the first time in 13 years, after his mother's death, Shinji meets his father. Shinji asks why his father sent for him, and his father, Gendo, says that he has use for him now, that he needs to get into the EVA and go fight the angels. Shinji, angry and confused as would anyone else be, refuses to pilot the EVA. So Gendo brings the other pilot for EVA Unit 1, and us and Shinji for the first time see the other pilot, Rei Ayanami, the best character in the show by the way. We see as Rei is badly wounded and is still in a lot of pain, and how Gendo is going to use her as the pilot. Shinji, seeing how Rei is, accepts and decides to pilot the EVA. Shinji gets ready and finally gets into the robot. And that's how the episode ends. The ending leaves us with some stuff, like how Shinji is willing to do some stuff that he doesn't like just for people to like and accept him, like piloting the EVA for his father's approval. Although I would love to sit here and talk about the entire series, that would make this 30-minute video be 3 hours long, so I'll just talk about the characters and the endings. The first time we see Rei is in the first episode, where she flashes for a second and then disappears. And the second time is when we see her being told to pilot the Eva even though she's badly wounded. Rei is the best character in the show in my opinion, because we see all her development in the show, unlike other people in the show that already have had their development outside of the show and before the story begins. But with Rei, we don't have that. We see Rei as she grows, starts to feel connection with people, especially Shinji. We see her smile for the first time, and we see her care for someone for the first time. This is one of the biggest spoilers of the show, so if you want to watch the show yourself, you better leave now. Rei is a clone of Shinji's mother, created by Gendo, Shinji's dad. We'll talk about this more later, but I just want you to understand why I said that we see how she grows and changes from the beginning till the end, and how her relationship with Shinji is one of the best parts of the show. Misato is the first person other than Shinji that we meet. At first, she seems like a very outgoing person and not very organized, but as we progress, we see her for her true self and how she uses everything to cover herself up, how she used sex to distract and show her worth, and how all she always wanted to was feel safe with another man. And you might say, why would she want that? And I would answer that with one simple thing: daddy issues. I swear, everyone in this show has either daddy issues, mommy issues, or both. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Misato's daddy issues stem from her losing her father in the second impact. The second impact was an explosion that happened when humanity first tried to study the angels and messed with them a little bit too much. The explosion was so big that it was like a nuke. No. More like an asteroid hitting Earth. And that's why Misato feels the need to prove herself to men, even if that means using her body to do so. And she is ashamed of this, and we see this in the end of Evangelion movie. Misato is ashamed of seeing herself having sex with someone and Shinji seeing that. She is ashamed of the things she did, but that was also the only thing that gave her comfort. I'll talk about Misato more in the ending explanation, but for now I want to talk about Asuka Lanley is the third pilot of the EVA, and she pilots EVA Unit 2. And also she's German, so she always seems angry. She first appears in episode 8, and in that episode we see her and Shinji fighting an angel. But the entire episode seems upbeat and funny and happy, like how Shinji has to wear Asuka's pilot suit to fight in the same EVA. But trust me, Shinji's and Asuka's story is the most depressing and saddening story in the entire show, and is the reason why I love this show so much. The more I see of Asuka, the more I feel bad for her. She's just a 14-year-old girl, and she's the most depressing character I've seen in the show, and I don't know, maybe it's because I've seen people like her in real life, but I just want her to be happy. Asuka lost her mother to suicide while she was still a kid. Asuka always wanted the approval of her mother. That's all she ever wanted in her life. But her mother never saw her, and she would see Asuka in a doll and never notice her own child. Even though her mother is mentally ill, I still feel terrible for Asuka. Asuka is also afraid of love and showing real affection. She and Shinji and Misato live in the same house for the duration of the show, and Shinji starts to develop feelings for Asuka as any 13-year-old boy going through puberty would. In one scene, we see Shinji try to kiss Asuka, but Asuka is trying to do the same, but she's also pretending to be asleep. So Shinji gets closer and closer, but he doesn't end up kissing her. So they don't kiss. But later we see Asuka say she knew how he tried to kiss her, but didn't stop him, showing she did actually like him but didn't want to admit it because she felt older and felt Shinji was too stupid for her. But later Asuka and Shinji do kiss, but Asuka disguised it as her wanting to try it, but she did like Shinji to a point but was too scared to show it. Misato and Asuka are very much like each other. As Misato uses her body to prove herself to others, so does Asuka. In one scene we see a 14-year-old child, Asuka, throw herself into a body of another man to prove that she's old enough and that she's ready for him and she deserves his love. Don't worry, nothing in EDP 445 level ever happens in the show, but we see that Asuka wants the approval of others in herself, like so many other people in the show and so many other people in the real world. Think about it. Every day we live, we are looking for the approval of others. Maybe not in the same level shown here, but we see it every day. Like myself right now. Writing, reading, recording, editing this video, all for the approval of my college teachers and other people so they might like my videos and enjoy them like how I enjoy writing about these things. Okay, that's enough yapping about the approval of others. Let's start talking about the endings. In the first ending, Shinji and everyone on the earth turns into one being, a literal god. and everyone understands each other completely. And Shinji understands that people don't want to leave him and he deserves to be loved like everyone he tried to love. But he also understood that you can't truly love anyone until you forgive yourself and love yourself. In ending 2, which is the end of Evangelion movie, that is where I truly understood why living is worth it. Shinji again becomes one with all of humanity, but this time he understands that what people see as their own flaws is what makes them human and different from each other. So he decides to leave people with them being as one, but if they decide to be separate once again, they can and will be themselves again in the real world. And that shows how some people would rather be comfortable and happy in their own imagination than to be flawed and a human like any other. Shinji and Asuka are the first ones to leave and be separated once more. And Shinji, in the delusion that his still might be in the god being, starts choking Asuka. But Asuka touches Shinji's face and Shinji realizes that he's finally out and breaks down and cries and falls down next to Asuka. And that's how the end of Evangelion ends. I'm not going to talk about the third ending, although I would love to do that. I don't have enough time for it in this video. I would rather make another completely new video about that. Let's move on to the second movie. The movie that you're not even supposed to say its name. This movie is like the perfect movie. It has everything you want from a film. Action, peak plot, a schizo insomniac, and best of all, Jared Leto getting his ass beat. This movie is a big fuck you to the corporations, but it's also more than that. It's a look into the psychology of men today, how the social settings of today's world can change and make men of the corporation. But the movie is an exaggeration of this, but also it has a little truth to it. The movie is great at showing how the consumerism lifestyle has ruined people and how people don't feel as powered as they used to, and all the power they have is over the furniture they have in their home. So for this movie, I'm going to talk about the beginning and the ending because I don't want this video to be longer than it needs to be, and I also don't want to torture my editor any longer. The movie begins with a gun in the mouth of our main character. We never get a name of this character, so I'm just going to call him Dude. So Dude has a gun in his mouth and the person holding it seems to be called Tyler, and he starts talking about Project Mayhem and how there's explosives all over the city and how he knows this because Tyler knows this, and then says all of this started with a person named Marla Singer. And we cut back to him months ago and he's in a support group and he's hugging a man with rather large chest, or as Dude puts it,
Bob had bitch tits.
This man is called Bob. Bob used to be a bodybuilder, but his use of anabolic steroids made him the way he is. Bob's family left him and he's alone. We'll get back to Bob later, don't worry. We cut back a little bit more and we see as Dude can't sleep and suffers from insomnia. We also see flashes of someone as we are watching the world in his point of view. I wonder who that could be. He goes to the doctor and they can't help him, but the doctor tells him to go to a support group to see what real miserable people look like. So Dude gives the support group a go and he cries? So yeah, he cries for the first time in a long time, and after that, he sleeps like a baby. No more insomnia for him. He feels great, but one day, Dude sees another person that isn't sick and going to the support groups like him. And this ruins his sleep and Dude has insomnia again. So he goes to talk to her and tells her that he knows her secret and will tell others. So she pulls a Uno reverse card and says he isn't sick either and he can't do anything about her because she'll reveal his secret too. So they make a deal. Each one of them gets a day of the week and they split the week equally. This woman is Marla Singer, the one we heard about at the beginning. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit and talk about how our main character Dude meets Tyler Durden. Dude works for a company that inspects car accidents and determines if the insurance company is liable for the damages done. And as you might have thought, Dude's job is to find something to make the insurance company not liable and free of paying. So Dude for his job flies a lot, and every time he's on the plane he imagines the plane crashing and how everyone would die and how freeing that must be. Let's just say he's depressed. It's during one of his daydream imaginations when he meets Tyler Durden sitting next to him and reading the plane manual. They start talking and Tyler talks about the delusion of safety 13,000 feet in the air and asks Dude,
you know why they put oxygen masks on planes?
and Dude says it's so people can breathe, but Tyler says it's to get them high before dying and explains that oxygen gets you high. After this, Dude asks Tyler what he does for a living and Tyler says, I sell soap. Remember this would be important later. Okay, that's enough for the beginning of Fight Club. I'm gonna tell you other stuff as we talk about the movie, but I don't want this video to be just me talking about the movie and explaining stuff that happened in it. Now that you know the important characters, I want to talk about them more in detail, like Tyler. So let's talk about... I'm just gonna spoil the entire movie for you right here, so if you think the movie is interesting, leave now. Leave! Get out! Go! Okay, for the rest of you that stay, Tyler is the alter ego of Dude. He's imagining Tyler this whole time, and he doesn't figure this out till the end because his brain is more fried than the average Instagram Reels user. And Tyler has recruited people using him and created the Fight Club. Fight Club is a place for people, especially men, to find themselves and realize that no one is special in any way. A place for someone like Bob who lost everyone and everything and realized that he's not special and no one is, but everyone in the club wants to be like Tyler. He just like me for it, okay? Even though Tyler says he's not special and he's like the rest of the people in the club, people still find Tyler the inspiration they need. So I'm just gonna go right ahead into the ending of the movie because I want to talk about it. So spoilers ahead. Tyler has set up bombs in the entire city's main bank buildings. He made the bombs using the soaps. I'm not even kidding. This is in the show. He set up these bombs so he can reset everything. All debts gone, get everyone to zero, no one is richer than another, and no one is special. And Dude tries to stop him. But as Tyler said before in the movie,
I look like you want to look, I look like you want to fuck. I am smart, capable, and most importantly, I'm free in all the ways that you are not.
so Dude fails. On a side note, how are you even supposed to beat yourself? Maybe in a physical fight you can, like we see here, but in a psychological fight, like we see in Mr. Robot, you can never beat yourself. In that show, they play chess match, but every time they play, they get into a stalemate. That's all I want to say, to be honest. I just wanted to talk about Mr. Robot, but that needs its own video, to be honest. So back to Fight Club. He gets knocked out and Tyler is now in control. The next scene is Tyler holding a gun in the narrator's mouth and saying 3 minutes, and we get back to ground zero, exactly how the movie started. And this is where the real conversation happens. Tyler talks to Dude, asking him has he ever let them down and how he should be grateful for him, but also tells him to take responsibility. And it wasn't him that created an alter ego because he was fed up with his condo lifestyle. He pleads and begs Tyler to call off the attacks, but Tyler doesn't listen. Remember the gun I was talking about? So yeah, Dude realizes that Tyler isn't holding a gun. He is. Tyler tells him good for you, but it doesn't change anything as he's smoking a cigarette. Dude puts the gun up to his head and Tyler asks why he's putting a gun to his head. And Dude responds, not my head, Tyler. Our head. We see Tyler actually stressed and kind of put down for the first time since the beginning of the movie and not fully in control. Tyler tries to talk down to Dude again and become in power, but he can't take back control this time. Dude puts the gun in his mouth and shoots. And to this day, I'm still saying that shot should have killed both of them and not just Tyler. But yeah, the shot kills Tyler and not the Dude. Even though at the end we still see the buildings fall and Tyler's plan succeeding, now it's just Dude to live in the world where Tyler created. It ended where everything began, ground zero. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. A huge thanks to my editor and friend Aryan. He's linked down below if you want to check him out. Also join our Discord down below if you like. It's somewhere me and my friends hang out sometimes. Thank you again for watching. And yeah, that's it. See ya.